This is a Lip Media podcast.
Hello, Lamely. It's a bonus episode again here at me. I am a memoir, the meaning of Mariah Carey. With me, Fab. That's Posh.
I'm waving.
He's waving.
I'm sure you heard that.
You've given up on even communicating out loud.
I just want to get to it, you know?
You're like, don't ask me how I am, and now don't even ask me to acknowledge you. I will wave.
You're lucky to get even that.
Audio medium. I will wave at you. So this special episode, we are going to be...
Finger waves?
Finger waves. We are going to only do one thing and one thing only, and that is break on down the Mariah Carey debut album, Mariah Carey. Posh has it on the vinyl.
I do.
I believe.
On the MC30 box.
I might have it on vinyl as well, actually.
Yeah. But is it Coke bottle?
It's like from like in the day when it came out.
From the early 2000s.
Yeah, 1997.
No, that's when she was born. She wasn't zero when she did. Oh my God, how embarrassed. She was 4.
Anyway, yeah. So shall we?
I think we shall.
A whole album.
A whole album. So what we've I've got a little bit of info that I'll dish out. I'm sure the Lamley will know, but just reminders. Take anything I say as a reminder.
Also, for some new Lamley members who are only joining us on this journey and are like,
who is this woman? For regular named people.
Regular named people who are secretly listening to this because they want to get intel.
No, that is true. Because I will say the approach that we're taking with this kind of thing is that Fab is the expert. Fab knows these albums inside out. I do not. Some of these songs I've maybe listened to for the first time about 12 months ago. So we don't have any first listens, but I still actually wrote notes when I did my little first listen. Ooh. So I have some comparisons along the way of what I thought then to
and
what I
you
think
are
now.
you're like quite a musical person, whereas I like to sit.
You can sit and listen to music, but anyway.
Yeah, that's what I do sometimes. But that's as close as I get. I don't have that much musical knowledge, so to speak.
And I probably am a slightly harder marker, and I am coming from someone hearing these songs for the first time versus someone who has the nostalgia factor. But that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just means it's different angles.
I bought the tape.
You did the cassette. That's a single.
The cassette. And I bought the single of Vision of Love, which had a sampler for the album.
Oh, that's always the best.
As
Danny
the
Minogue
side.
did that for Neon Nights. It was everything. That's why I bought the album.
Just like 4 bits of song.
Yeah.
Which is the first time I heard All in Your Mind. And it just, amazing. Anyway, so I bought the cassette, and then I really wanted a CD player, but I did not own one. So I bought the CD knowing I would soon one day have a CD player. And I bought it from a CD club that we had when I worked at the bank.
Yes!
And it just would arrive.
This does remind me, the first 2 DVDs I bought where I did not have a DVD player, but I saw a $50 Kylie Fever Tour special edition DVD, and I thought, well, I need that. Don't know how to play it. And then the S Club 7 Best Of DVD with all the video clips.
Yeah.
That was very exciting.
Yours are truly tragic. Mine was Mariah.
We will touch on the videos, but I'm not sure. But I also thought, and you can probably do this off the cuff anyway, I've kind of gone through and given them a little rating out of 5 or infinity.
Yes.
And I also thought, because as someone who came into it a little bit later, especially these early albums, sometimes the remixes can be overwhelming because there's so many.
There are so many.
If there are particular remixes that you are like, oh, no, this is better, you let me know, and I will make a little note, and I will have a listen and get back to you.
Don't know that it's going to happen with these first two albums.
No, that's okay. That's all
but
right.
once we hit Music Box, look out.
Oh, bring me on down. The album is Mariah Carey, the self-titled debut, released June the 12th, 1990. Look away, Mariah, 1990. The singles were Vision of Love, Love Takes Time, Someday, I Don't Want to Cry, and There's Got to Be a Way.
Yeah.
We went to number 1 in the US and number 6 in Australia. What were we thinking? And we sold 15 million / 4 trillion albums.
Yep.
The first song on the album and the first single, of course, the debut is Vision of Love. We love the Vision of Love.
Vision of Love is amazing. Well, that's one of the ways that we met.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spontaneous
Hashtag Spontaneous Mariah.
And just tweeting out our interpretation of what we thought the lyrics were during one of her vocal runs.
Yeah. I still get frustrated when people say straight through the night. It's like, it's not straight through the night. It's
Straight.
prayed through the night. I don't know. What are you doing? Written by Mariah and Ben Miriam Margulies.
Pen dodgy photocopy Margulies.
This single went to number 1 in the US. Number 9 in Australia. Again,
Well, because I had the sampler on it.
what were we thinking? And my simple note for this is, it's Vision of Love. Need I say more?
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the reasons it probably was not as big here is because she kind of grew over time.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a thing that happens in Australia. Like if you do shows in Adelaide, some people come. But if you go to Adelaide every year for 10 years, on the 10th year, you will sell out every night for a month.
Oh, I've only been 2 years. I've got to keep going.
You have to keep going.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, yeah, no, we're happy with you now. And I think that's... so you're going to find that with a lot of this stuff. But, yeah,
Sure.
Just such a great song. It's, it's a vocal performance of astounding power. Just like when you think, you go, oh, she's not going to go any. What is that?
Yeah.
No! What is that? It is the first, like feeling, I'm still feeling the first time I ever heard this song and just going, what? Like, this is good. I like this. I love a belty bitch.
Yeah.
I'm mad for them.
Yeah.
Grew up with Shirley Bassey. She's my favorite. And then I was just like, oh, yeah. Oh.
Just imagine you actually growing up with Shirley Bassey and how fabulous that would be.
Yeah.
Like she's my neighbour. Well, do you know what was so cool? Like, this was something, because I was not aware of Vision of Love. So I came to know Vision of Love long after the One Sweet Days and the Heroes and the Without Yous.
Yes.
So it was almost like an extra bonus one that no one knew about, even though everyone knew about it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know about it. So I was like, hey, hang on. There's another big belty moment from the Mariah with the whistle. All right.
It's
Settle
the
in.
original. It's
is.
the one that makes you go, oh. And you know what? She may never have done the whistle again. She may never have done the big belts again. And she may never have had another hit. But this song, even if she just went I just don't want to be that whistly squealy person anymore.
Yeah.
This song would still, if she never had another hit, like if she, we found out that it was Ben Margulies that was doing all the writing and she was just no good. And then they had their acrimonious break and then she just never had any more songs anymore. Like, this would still be a huge song.
Yeah, absolutely.
It would be one of those, the 90s.
That it's like Manifa's Touch It.
Yeah.
Just A+.
You just go, this is a song. This is a song for the ages. And it is. It is spectacular.
I do remember driving along in the car one day and I just, for some reason, I don't know why this song of all things, it was just on the radio, Gold FM.
Yeah.
It was Love is a Battlefield, Pat Benatar.
Oh,
and I remember thinking, imagine if you could just say, I wrote Love is a Battlefield. Like, imagine just casually sleeping. Like, I'm a genius.
I wrote Love is a Battlefield.
Don't know what you're thinking. On the whistle thing, one thing I did do for one of the songs on my forthcoming album is some whistle notes, because I was like, if I never do this live, I may never do it again, but I'm getting this shit down. Like,
You managed to do it on our podcast.
I did.
Like, that was amazing.
So I squeezed and squeezed a little bit more.
So you also did a big number 2 while trying to push out a number 1.
But the funny thing is the song that it's on is definitely like a sort of like a very camp sort of dance number. Mm-hmm. So I don't think people are going to realize it's actually my voice. I think they're going to think it's some effect or something. Like, no,
that's
actually me. So I'm excited. Anyway, so
we have vocal runs. We've got whistle notes. We've got big belts. We've got the Parade Through the Night is just one of those moments. You're like, whoa,
yeah.
The song's gone to there now.
I'm just on an octave everywhere.
Also, the fact that she's singing 2 songs at the same time, like she's singing her own background vocal.
Yes.
So she's also then singing all the high notes and the belts, and you're like, oh, you're doing both of these at once.
Yeah.
Like, which one do you sing when you're live? Because I choose different ones every time I sing along.
She does too. Yeah. It's like, can I get there today? No, I cannot. So
I'm not going to go. I'll do the low one.
And there's also times, particularly sort of in the bridge, where you pick. I'll often hold back in the car. Like, I'm not gonna go all the way there. I'm gonna wait because people will think, oh, he couldn't hit it. He couldn't do that. That's just all right. Fair enough. Oh, hang on.
There it comes. There it comes.
Now, there are a couple of little bit trivia moments about this song. Supposedly, when Mariah collaborated with Snoop Dogg on Say Something, she learned that Vision of Love was a very important song for him. He would listen to it while he was serving time on a drug charge.
Oh, bless.
And it became his favourite prison tune. So I'm imagining like a Chicago-style cell block tango with Snoop Dogg and Vision of Love. We also have the video.
The video.
This is the first single. So we had a little video. I've written notes on it.
Which this video, and as we've discovered, was inspired by the dung heap.
Yeah.
At the shack. It's a little rope swing.
So this is something I did pay attention to.
Yeah.
Because I remember at the time we went through that chapter, I was like, I don't remember a swing.
Yeah, there was a swing.
But there is. So we've got a staircase.
Yes, there's a staircase.
Then I noticed the swing over the dump.
There's a swing over the dump.
Sans
the
garbage. I wanted to be sentimental, not bleak, as I put it. Now, there was a cat, which I'm certain is the one she
went back
rescued.
into the house to get.
Yeah, it had to be. There is a mirror which proves that the vision Mariah had is of herself.
Yes.
We have floaty clouds that Mariah is definitely standing in front of. They are definitely real clouds.
They're real clouds.
They are not put in post. Not at all.
They're not post clouds.
And apparently they were different in the UK, but that's fine. It's just because they're different clouds in the UK. It's a different sky. So that's why. We even had some back of the album microphone moments.
Yes.
And most important, from day one, we had arm flourishes.
Arm flourishes. You know what I love about the back of the album microphone stand business is it's like, well, let's get a whole encompassing look. Like, let's put the album in the video clip.
Yeah.
Because often you'll watch a video, you're like, I love that. Where is it at the shops? And you can't find it.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, if you saw it on television, you'd go, oh, that's that one I saw on the TV.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
It's good branding.
Yeah.
Good branding for Mariah's people.
Yeah. All over
I like it.
And I will say it is one of the videos, we will get to some of the others early on. Not a lot going on in the videos.
Oh, but she's wearing a black dress and banging around.
But I will say this is one that, you watch it and you enjoy it. Maybe because the song is so great as well.
Well, that's another thing. You can't clutter up a good song with a messy video clip.
Oh, I can give it a good crack, but...
I watched today, for reasons that I can't explain, Jordan Sparks and Guy Sebastian singing Art of Love. And it's very annoying because they keep singing right into each other's faces.
Oh, really?
Because there's like some weird story going on that she's singing to him on the phone and he's calling her from the recording studio. Like, nothing happens. And then they catch up in amongst some trees and just sing right at each other's faces and never actually kiss. And I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to say with this video, but I don't like it.
It's like,
too much going on.
Have you ever watched Rage on mute?
Oh, yeah, it's weird.
Because it's weird. I remember my best friend, we were just teenagers, probably having drinks or something and watching Rage, but we'd turn it right down because we were talking. and Magic Dirt's Plastic Loveless Letter came on.
That's very cool.
And my friend decided it would be hilarious, which it was, to reenact the video clip. And we still pull out moves from it because it was so absurd. And all she has to do is make this one particular move and I lose my mind because it just takes me back. But yeah, if you want to watch something really random, watch Plastic Loveless Letter on mute. Now, Mariah also went on to say she hated the spandex outfit.
Yeah, it's not okay.
She said it was rancid.
Yeah.
Which came from her little memories and rants from the number 1 to Infinity. But I think we've covered off Vision of Love.
Oh, yeah, so much.
Okay.
What more can you say? It's iconic.
Iconic. Then we have a little There's Got to Be a Way.
Oh, do you need to vote? Do you like?
Oh,
need to
did I
give it a
not? Sorry, I
score?
apologize. I got ahead of myself because my notes are all over the place. Oh. Yes, it's Vision of Love. It's an Infinity.
Yeah, of course it is.
What do you say to it?
What, infinity to the power of infinity.
Yeah, exactly. Infinity, and beyond.
Infinity, and then was it like what? There's nothing else you can give it.
Yeah.
You can't go beyond infinity.
Ooh, that sounds like a good film. Beyond Infinity.
Beyond infinity.
It's Mariah in space.
In a world where infinity was a wall.
And then you just hear
went beyond.
You hear whistle tones. I can't do it live. Okay. So There's Got to Be a Way. Now, This was one that was a first listen about 12 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was written by Mariah and Rick Wake.
Yes.
Rick
Wake wrote a lot of like big top 40 things back in the day.
This is good. This is why you're here.
Yeah.
So my initial reaction, it's pretty much still the same, which was that sonically that there's a little bit of datedness going on, but Mimi takes on bigotry and a choir shows up at the end, so I am here for it. Yeah.
Also, I mean, at the time, the the apartheid thing was happening. We have to end it in South Africa. So that was all a big deal at the time. Yeah. So that's the In Another Land They Still Believe section.
Yes.
So that's, so it's not my favorite, I have to say, on the album. Like, I like what it has to say. I like some of the bits and pieces. But yeah, it's a little, and I think maybe because of the Rick Wake business. I mean, he's responsible for, he's done, I think he did Tell It to My Heart.
Oh.
I think he did the Taylor Danes.
The Taylor Prisoner Dane.
Yes. And I think he may have been touched by the regular name, so he's probably dead to us now.
It's like Touched by an Angel, but touched by a regular name.
But yeah, he's a producer as well as a singer. I mean, songwriter. It's fine. Like, there's a remix of it I don't mind as much as, like, I'm not, like, I find the production of it a little bit cloying. Yeah. And of the time. This feels like one of the ones that, Mariah's like, I was trying to shave off my edges and trying to make me very mainstream. Yeah. This one feels like, well, I can't do it with my sound, so maybe I can use my lyrics to say something because I'm not allowed to be who I want to be. Like, knowing what we've been reading in the book now, that's how it feels to me. But back then it just felt like, I'm just going to try and have some vaguely political song. Yeah. And it was,
Well, they seem to have an idea even at the time because it was released as a UK only single. Yeah. So there is a video.
I didn't think it was released here.
No, just in the UK. It went to number 54. Supposedly it's because they didn't want to ruin her streak of number ones. Yeah. So they did have some idea. There's also a little bit of
I think I was there then when that came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because there is a video. I'm assuming you've seen the video.
Yes.
Yes. Now, there was a little bit of trivia, which is Trey Lorenz focused, which is that she was working on the album, recording this song, and one of the backing singers was friends with Trey, and he was just kind of there. Yes. And she said, I heard someone singing all the high top notes with me and was like, who is that? And she turned around.
With the Mariah.
And it was Trey. And she's like, okay, you come here. We're going to do this. So I thought that was fun. It's not something that's in the book.
Yeah.
So I thought that's a little fun extra meaning of Mariah. And then we have the video. So this is my little spiel on that. We're out on the street showing different people in the way they live.
Mm-hmm.
Mariah is on stairs looking. She heads down to the street and randomly finds 2 male backing singers. They're just there. She then finds a window and a pole to sing near.
Mm-hmm.
There's some choreography, but Mariah wants no part of it.
Yep.
It did actually make me think of backing dances of that time.
Do you know what it feels like, this film clip? It feels like they've made the clip for someday and someone's gone, oh, can we just quickly make one for that other song?
Yeah, run outside quickly.
Just while we're here, while we've got these kids.
Yeah, probably.
Who know this
I will
dance.
say there was definitely some kids that are repeated throughout some of these videos.
Yeah.
But it was making me think of certain backing dancers around that time, a certain Janet Jackson backing dancer.
Mm-hmm.
And how amazing it would have been if maybe a regular named backing dancer
There would
was
be
just
no
randomly
regular named,
but
very old
can you imagine?
backing dancers.
Can you imagine if that's how they met Tommy?
Oh,
if that's like, just to add an extra layer that, oh yeah, that the person that I don't know was actually a backing dancer.
They wouldn't have had anyone that old working on the film. She would have been like 50 by now. She just started singing a bit later.
Now, yeah. She's in her 80s now. Now a choir hear Mariah and they join in. Of course they do.
Yes.
Why would you not?
Why would you
and then
not
they
join
just sing and dance on the street for all eternity.
Yeah.
That's the video. But yeah, I agree. What was interesting about this one is, upon first listen, not one of my favorites.
No.
But catchy. It's stuck in my head.
Yeah, it gets it right in there.
Right in there. So
Right in there.
I think the difference, and this happens with a few of the songs that aren't bad songs, but maybe don't quite get to the vision of Love Infinity.
Yes.
It's because Vision of Love constantly surprises you.
Yes.
Whereas some of the other songs are a little bit more formulaic.
Yeah.
Such as this one. So it's not that it's bad, but back then songs went for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And this was one of them.
This
and
went
you
for
think
ages.
these days, if you just put it down to 3.5 minute version, you'd be quite happy with it.
If you just did a remix where she said, if, you know, where she just did the bridge
Yeah.
over and over.
Yeah. You're like, thank you. Great song.
We work together. Today will be tomorrow. That day
5
will be
stars.
tomorrow.
Thanks, Mariah.
We'll be there. We're like, we work together. What? Oh,
So for this one, I gave it 3.5 out of 5.
yeah. Oh, so we're going out of 5.
Yes.
Yeah, I reckon like 3.5 to 4 is
Yeah. Look, it was probably a 3, but the catchiness pushed up to 3.
The fact that, like, I think that is very much old mate Rick Waite kind of, you know, being basically a hit maker at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But not anymore, because she probably doesn't know him anymore.
No, she probably doesn't.
All right.
She does not.
Now we have a little I Don't Want to Cry. This was also a first listen for me about 12 months ago.
I am flabbergasted by. This is...
Well, you know, it's funny. This was on the greatest. So I did have, aside from the Daydream and the Me I Am Mariah, I did have the greatest hits. The one that she did like.
Yes.
Because she didn't like the number ones. Because it didn't have songs that weren't number ones that she liked.
Yeah.
Whereas the greatest hits had everything. But it was so overwhelming as a 2-disc
It's a lot.
extravaganza that I sort of did stick to the ones I knew. And then maybe you'd get 1 or 2 that you'd learn along the way. Like, you know, you'd get a Whitney moment. So it's like, well, I've got to check that out.
Yeah.
And I think this was one that's just, it's a ballad like many of her great hits, but maybe wasn't as immediate as some of her other ones. So it was written
It's
by...
got a slow burn.
Slow burn, absolutely. And I find that a lot on this album. Like, I will say quite a few of the songs have since grown on me.
Yeah.
Not sure I can say the same about the next album.
Okay.
But I Don't Want to Cry, written by Mariah and Narada Michael Walden.
Mm-hmm.
My note at the time was 90s ballad through and through.
Yep.
It hits all the spots. It's certainly nothing bad about it.
Oh, look, many a night or morning when I had a big one. I'd been out all night, and you'd come home at daylight, and the music video shows would be on, and this would come on because it was in the charts. I was like, oh, here we go. This is what I need. Some Mariah and a wheat field.
Absolutely.
Mariah and some wheat.
And that's essentially the whole video, which we'll get to.
That's the whole video.
Now, this song did go to number 1 in the US.
Yes.
And in Australia, any guesses?
Number 1?
Number 49.
49. Well, it was on the music video shows a lot. I was fooled into thinking it was on.
Yeah,
it was a big hit.
Now, it was inspired in part by Mariah listening to George Michael a lot of the time. When she was writing with Narada, sort of mentioned the George of the Michael and was like, yeah. And it kind of makes sense when you listen to it. Like, okay, I can kind of see it's still Mariah. It's still Mariah's song. But you can sort of go, oh, yeah, I can kind of feel that.
But it's got the one more try, different corner kind of vibe to it. I see.
Now, the video. This is my little synopsis.
By the way, this was the end of our last chapter that we did.
Yes, you're right. And there are a few, like, there's Make It Happen and a few others that I'm like, oh, yes, it all ties back.
After all is said and done.
Now, the video, Mariah sits in a room. Mm-hmm. There's some light fanage. It's before she's actually got her fan rider into her contract. There's a separate fan rider.
Still too early for the fan.
Now, there is a hot guy. She says, quote unquote, hot guy. His name was Stephen Richard Harris, who I can confirm after Googling him is as hot as tits. Like, how, because the way she said hot, in quotes, I was like, oh, maybe he's not. But it turned out that some of that was because there was some drama about the hot guy and the blowing dress. So there were some re-edits that took place, which was funny because there's actually on YouTube a side-by-side comparison of what was sent out versus the director's original cut.
Oh.
And they basically use all the same shots anyway. But anyway. Yeah. So Mariah leans against a wall. She sings through Flywire and then she's in a field.
Yeah.
Then there is a single tear.
That's where it started.
And she wins an Oscar.
Where the single tear started.
And so Mariah's comment...
Ejected from her face.
Absolutely. It was definitely natural. Mariah says about the whole editing fiasco. Everybody was so dramatic. Why with the drama? I don't understand. But no, this song, look, even on first listen, it was clear that it's a good song. It's everything you want from a Mariah song. So I gave this one a 4 out of 5.
Yeah. Well, I love this especially. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my go-tos when I have had a moment.
Yes.
And I'm feeling only emptiness inside me. And having to look at what I've become.
I love it a lot of the time because some of these songs are newer to me. I'm just guessing you're quoting the lyrics. I'm just like, yes, I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, it's look, it's a solid 5, bordering on infinity.
Okay, yes,
because I have loved it for a very long time.
I've got some songs along that range of scoring,
just right on the edge of infinity.
Then we have Someday. Written by Mariah and Miriam Margolyes. Mariah hates it, but I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. When I was listening to it, every time I listen to it, I am Mariah pointing at every note.
Yeah. You have to.
It was on the demo trademark. The demo, like, what do you say about this? It went to number 1 in the US, number 44 in Australia, and we do have a little video. We've got some moments with the video as well.
Don't even. Like this, the dancing is.
It's a whole thing.
I think the Parmesan Nazi may have a point. I love her, but the dancing, Mariah. I love that now she's like, I won't do it anymore. Because people have pointed and laughed.
Yes. So what are your feels on the Someday?
Look, Someday was rehabilitated much later on for me. Yeah. It was not my favourite even at the time.
Wow.
You just don't, like, there's some songs you just go, like, a singer sometimes will not put in a huge performance if they're not enjoying themselves.
Sure.
And this one feels like, yeah, it just kind of, it feels like it's at 85% the whole time.
Okay.
But, you know, having said that, when she did it on the MTV Unplugged,
Yes.
and it's like, oh, no, this is going to be arranged the way I want it to be arranged.
Yeah. Which we will also cover. Just
yeah.
for the
But
light
yeah,
one.
when you hear the song as it clearly is meant to be performed,
Yeah.
it is actually a good song, and I really enjoy it. But I think, like Mariah, the production gets in the way of the song.
Okay. See, this was one I discovered on the Greatest Hits.
Yes.
And probably did maybe skip past a few times because of the early bits. But as soon as I heard "Just Think Again," because I was there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, hang on.
And
hang on.
that is the good bit of the song.
Yeah. And that's why it's repeated in the other version.
And that's why that's how it opens.
Yeah.
Like when you open the song with that,
Every song opened like that.
oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
This is what we need.
So I think that's what sucked me in.
It's
the song.
a good song. It's just like I said, the production. Like we've talked about this before. Beautiful Disaster, Kelly Clarkson. Like the production just is like an elephant trampling over a decent song, and you're like, what are you doing? Like you're just throwing everything at it. And it doesn't need it. The fact that when they released this, even the video clip has a different mix. Says
thoughts on that.
The production was no good, so they're constantly trying to
make it
walk it back, and it's just like
I will
should
say
have let Mariah produce it in the first place.
That's really true. There is, I can't say what it is yet, but there's a song that I have covered. It's not a Mariah song, but it's a song that's quite hated by the original artist. And I think it was one that they've tried to reimagine. And it's not a song that people will instantly know. They will know the artist though. But
Je ne sais pas pourquoi. I know.
Yeah. No, it's not a KM, sadly. But no, what I did was...
she's left none of her back catalogue unturned.
No. I did a complete like Triple J like a version on it. Just for a bit of fun. I was like, I wonder. Yeah. And it kind of worked. I was like, okay, this is cool. And I've played it for people and they're like, oh, I really like this. Like, and I'd tell them the story. And so my hope is that if I send it out...
Because it starts with you saying, it's posh bitch.
I wouldn't dare reimagine that song because it's perfect to begin with. And that's actually my thing. Sometimes it's like, I'm not going to do a song officially if it's perfect to begin with.
Well, this is something that I always loved about Mariah saying, you know, in the first Vision, which is the video that came out with the first album. No, that's the Purple video. It's later.
Oh, it's later.
The first Vision is like basically the video for this album. It's got all the video clips on it. And there's a couple of live moments. You know, that first concert that she released in full the other day.
Last year, it's fine.
Last Thursday. So it's that. There's a couple of those songs on it. And she's like, you know, she goes, whenever I sing this in concert, I say the incomparable Aretha Franklin because I don't want anyone to think I'm coming close. And it's one of those things where you go, yeah, why would you sing a song that's already amazing?
Yeah. Especially
Celine Dion.
Especially, like, look, live doesn't bother me so much because you're just having fun with it in the moment. But if you're going to be producing it, I agree.
Release it.
Yeah. There's songs that I listen to and go, oh, I wish more people knew about this. But I'm not going to cover it because it's so good as is. I wouldn't be improving it. But yeah, this particular one, it's a completely different song. Like, when I've performed it a couple of times live, I've then played the original and people are like, wait,
see, now you're making me want Mariah to do another version of this in the studio. But I feel like she's one of these people that goes, no, I've done that. I don't do that again.
I don't know. She did just do We Belong Together for 7 minutes. So she might. We'll ask her. But no, I'm excited because I'm wondering, like, if I send it out and it's on the Spotify's and stuff, because I'll be paying this person. And not that they, I'm sure, would see a lot of these things, but I think in my head, I've decided because of the particular song, it might actually stand out to them.
Oh.
And I'm like, I wonder if I could make them like it.
Maybe not.
That would be amazing. But I wonder if they'd even recognise it.
Like, Bananas does not spell shit. I don't know why you think that's going to make it.
Hollaback Girl. Okay. Why would I mess with perfection? No, I don't even think people would know the song, to be honest.
I just like pretending that I know.
It's one of those things where like that would be a me thing to do. Oh no, I took Hollaback Girl and I turned it into a ballad. It's not that. I wouldn't do that.
Yes.
I heard that you were talking shit and you didn't think that I would hear it. No.
How did this become
stunning.
this?
That's my first single.
There you go.
But no, that kind of thing annoys me. I don't like people doing that. I've done the opposite. I've made it like boom. Anyway, where are we? So okay,
we were in
the song.
Sunday.
I don't know if I said the song went to number 1 in the US. It went to number 44 in Australia, so it did beat a little. I Don't Want to Cry. Now let's get to the video, darling. Personally, I like you just said about the new version. Maybe they were trying to get away from the original. I don't like this version.
You don't like the remix?
It's because there's kind of two. There's a 12-inch, and then there's the other. So there's 2 videos too. So I watched the 12-inch video version
that goes
where there's
forever.
lots of.
She dances a lot in that one. It's not okay.
I was not okay with it.
Although there's a few extra little vocal bits at the end which I like, so that's kind of cool.
Okay, but no, what it reminds me of is it's very much of the time and the music, especially coming out of America. But you know how Kylie, that 4th album, Let's Get To It, was very much Americanized, but just kind of missed the mark. That's what it reminds me of. Nothing that memorable.
Too overproduced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's almost like they took the produced version from the album, which they already thought was overproduced, and they're like, well, I'm going to double overproduce and underproduce it, instead of saying, let's re-record it, which Mariah would now do.
Yeah. Now she would go, well, now she would be, she wouldn't let them, like, this just wouldn't happen.
All that too. Although some of the things she said in interviews recently, maybe. Don't know how she's feeling about some of these people she's working with. But yes, so the video, Mariah's singing in a school. There's some basketball. There's a kid playing. There's kid playing drums on a bucket. Apparently, this was a very famous kid playing drums on a bucket. Little Mariah is there, as you said. She's in overalls, not being included in things.
No, ignored.
Even Little Mariah has no interest in dancing until all of a sudden, grown-up Mariah is doing the Running Man.
Yeah.
A little kid does a pretty impressive flip.
It was all the rage back then, by the way.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Like salt and pepper's here. We get it.
The dance to do.
There is a little kid who does a pretty impressive flip. I was impressed by the flip.
Yes, that was good.
Little Mariah drops her book and the whole school dances, and the book is said to still be on the ground all these years later.
Oh, sad.
Now, I have a comparison of Mariah's thoughts on the video then and then more recently. So back then, this is a direct quote. I just had a great time, and at the end of the video, we even did an extended version for the 12-inch, and I didn't even want to leave. I was having so much fun. I think it's going to be really good. Mariah now. I hate it. I have no words. So I notice a little bit of a change. Subtle.
A little bit of a change.
But just over the years, she's maybe looked back and gone,
tiny
maybe it wasn't as good as I thought it was back then.
Well, back then, you're trying to flog your album. You say everything nice. Like,
it's true.
Every
video I do is amazing. But that seems so un-Mariah, though. I feel like she's the one going out there going, why am I releasing? I want to know what love is. That just seems silly. Yeah. Anyway. But no, I love the MTV version more, but I do like the key that the original is in. So for me, it's an infinity.
Really?
Yeah, I love this song. I know. Oh. It's daggy, but I love it.
Yeah.
You're like, it's a 2.
No. It's 3.5 for this one. If we were doing the MTV Unplugged, you would be getting...
Yeah, well, don't worry, we will.
You would be getting a full infinity.
All right.
Especially just for the Price Sisters taking...
Oh, they are amazing.
Taking the roof off.
Well, that's the thing. Imagine what I'm going to give it when it gets to MTV.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited about infinity plus infinity from you for once.
All right, we're smashing through. We're on Vanishing. By Mariah and Miriam. Produced by Mariah.
Yes.
The note I gave to this one is that it actually reminds me of Natural Woman in the intro.
A little bit, yes.
Little bit. There's some Carole King going on. We do get some Carole King at some stage. But I know that this is a big Lamley favourite.
This is a big me favourite.
It's a big favourite. My introduction was actually Kelly Clarkson singing it in the bathroom. And Mariah getting very excited. Now, what I said about this on the first listen was, I know people love this one. It's just fine, but it feels like a grower.
Yeah.
And there is no shame in being a grower.
This is, you know what this is? This is Beautiful Disaster 2.0.
Yeah.
Like when you're listening to the album and you're like, oh, what is this?
And I think that's the thing.
I've been enjoying all this pop and overproduced business, but what is this stripped back piano and belt?
Yeah.
This is, there's a run. Oh, also the lyrics.
I think that's the thing.
Feel very urgent. It feels like I hear Alison in this song.
Do you? See, this is the thing. I think my initial listen, it was the 3.5. So still quite a decent score.
Yeah.
But it's one that I think I need to sort of get more enveloped in over time. It's
like that's when
slow burn.
When the Alison chapters happened in the book, I was like, Vanishing is coming true. Vanishing is like the lyrics feel so like this is a person who I'm meant to love and I'm meant to care about, and they're just slipping through my fingers. Like I can't do anything, letting the darkness inside. Oh.
Yeah. And do you know what's funny? When I'm writing songs, the most important thing to me is the lyrics.
Yeah.
But when I listen, my initial impression is the production.
Yeah.
And it takes so songs like this that are less production heavy, it takes longer for the lyrics to really get in.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of almost part of you're getting the sugary coating to begin with.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's fun. It's like a lolly, yay. And then the depth starts coming
also,
through.
But when you're me and you've listened to this album for 1,000 times.
Well, exactly, yeah.
I think this might have been on a chunk of this might have been on the little sampler you got with the Vision of Love. I can't remember. But yeah, just this song hooked me from the beginning. This was like, this is Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she's, paying penance with all the single bait earlier in the album. But this one's like, this one's never getting released, but this is my album track. This is my...
That's always fun. You know what? I enjoy that.
Creativity. This is my art. These are my lyrics that I care about.
Yeah.
This is my sister and her distant laughter that I can't hear anymore because she's vanishing. Oh,
single tear. I will say that is something that I do enjoy about, certain albums. If you get an album maybe early on in the cycle, so they've got 1 or 2 singles out, but you've jumped straight onto the bandwagon, you'll get your favourite songs that aren't released. And then over time, they may release them because, the ones you immediately go for, they might be the best song. So they release it and it kind of becomes everyone else's song.
But I was like that with Don't Speak on Tragic Kingdom.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what a great song. I love that. And then everyone was singing. I'm like, no, this was my song.
But no, that's exactly right. And so there are definitely
Whereas
times...
Vanishing, I feel like, and, I know all the other Lamely love it as well. But, if she sang it in concert, I know everyone sitting around me will go, what is this? And I'll be like, this is Vanishing.
Yeah.
Don't you know anything?
Yeah. Why are you such a dumb fuck?
Like she sang a bunch of these kind of songs like when she was in Sydney and the people around me were furious. Like I just want her to sing the hits and they're like, you don't understand. These are the hits for us.
Yeah. And also listen and you might learn something new.
No, that just was like, I paid nearly $40 for this half-price ticket on the day the concert was on.
They only know We Belong Together.
Yeah, barely knew that.
So what would your score for Vanishing be?
It is infinity to the power of infinity. It is that that was my, I'm having a terrible day. I feel like shit. I need Vanishing. Like my first ever published short story is titled Distant Laughter, which is a lyric from this song.
Yes, I did read it.
Because I love this song so much. Like it is always, if I had to compile if you had to give me,
best of top 10 or something.
Just 10 Mariah songs that, you will take with you to a desert island, Vanishing is number 1.
Okay. I always think it's fun. People often do that thing of like, if you had your idol do a private show,
Yeah.
what songs would you pick? I always try to go for the ones that they either never sing or those, really deep cuts.
I don't think I would want to make her sing it, because I feel like, as we'll probably get through the rest of the book and find out, I think the relationship she had with Alison then, where like listening to these lyrics, it feels like things are getting worse.
Yeah, sure.
And like we've already had some horrendous things happen to her when she was a kid, but Alison.
Yeah, we still got glitter to get through.
Yeah, but Alison's having a tilt at her now again. You're just like, oh, and so yeah, there's
maybe she needs a new song called Banishing.
Banishing. Let's get her to re-record it as Banishing. But yeah, like it's a really raw vocal, and I just love, like her instincts, like the fact that she co-produced this, her instincts are so good to go, yeah, just let the echo in the studio hold as I sing that last note, because that's what you remember. Like when that song finishes, you just hear the away and you're like, oh, how do I put it on again?
No, it vanished too soon. Put it back.
Because it just leaves you with this, it's just a bittersweet kind of sad melancholy, like thing, like this is ending. This relationship is over. And it's obviously a friendship or other kind of, it's not a love relationship, like it's not a romantic relationship, but it is, someone who's been loved. And yeah, you just go, oh, it's just, yeah, the feeling, and you hear, like you feel it when she sings it, which I don't think you get in Someday. I don't think her vocal, I just felt like her vocal in that was like, oh, is this what it's going to sound like? Yeah, all right, I'll sing it. I'll sing it.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm sorry that I like Someday. All right?
No,
I'm already
not.
cancelled. I'm a prolo piece of shit.
Prolo piece of shit. It's just, I think, yeah, there is a real emotion going on in this song.
It's a real song, and you like the fake song.
You like the fake song.
I'm banishing.
You are banished.
Banished. All right.
We have been going forever, and we're only on side one of the vinyl.
Let's keep going. Okay. So yeah, my initial score was 3.5, but now it's a little bit of a TBC with an asterisk.
Oh,
I think it's one I'll get back to. Let it grow. Let it flourish.
What you
Maybe
need
even
to
this
do
conversation.
is not listen to it on any streaming service or even on like an iTunes or anything, because sometimes they overlap the songs. You need to hear in your head the echo as she sings Away.
I'll just go into my Adobe Audition and just copy that and just paste. So that's the only thing I hear.
Yeah. Away. Away.
At the end of the podcast, baby. Almost there, almost home. You could probably say, but you won't because of copyright.
Oh, well, we have come to the end of the first side of the vinyl album, or the cassette, if you are living in ye olden times like I am. So we will continue this in another bonus podcast. But Posh, have you had a chance to listen to it again? Specifically, how do you feel about Vanishing? Have you please changed your mind?
Lamely favourite, Vanishing.
Yes.
I think I gave that a 3.5, and I'm actually going to boost that up to a 4.
Oh, bless you.
Because I got to listen to it on its own.
Yes, you needed to.
Without sort of the other songs surrounding it. I think sometimes, especially the way I listen to music, the production kind of hits me first, and then I get into the lyrics and there's sort of more laid back, or the more sparse arrangements. So yeah, look, it's not quite top tier Mariah for me just yet. but it's certainly improving with each listen, and I'm sort of getting it more, you know.
One more time.
Keep in mind, I am much, much younger than Fab, so I wasn't around.
I'm
from
turning
a
off
few
your
of these.
microphone. I'm turning off your microphone.
I'm going to edit that out.
Yeah, I've turned her off. We will have part 2 of this podcast where we listen to the rest of Mariah's first album and watch one more video maybe on Thursday. So listen out for that.